Very easy to stay calm when you just got a contract extension and you work for a team that doesn't like to pay buyouts. That said, winless teams through the first 2 weeks. Chris, there are 7 of them. I don't know how we're going to pick 6 out of these that we have faith in. I don't know which ones I have faith in.
We're going to get to some point. You're right. Then we're just going
to get to a point where we just pull the plug on the draft, that we just don't have faith. But but give me the one that stands out to you the most in which you have faith.
You know what? It's not them and that guy right there right now. It's not. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans here. I just, again, I guess I believe in the coach too much. I do. The style of football they play, watching that game back yesterday, I know they got their butt kicked and all that, but there was opportunities where that game wasn't quite as bad as it looked, I guess, I'm trying to say. I understand Buffalo was special there, but I guess I just have faith that their running game will come along. Tannehill, I don't look at him to be a problem, at least not yet, certainly not. And then the defense with Mike Vrabel, heading that part of it down. I look at it and think there's enough talent. There were some injuries on that side of the ball. They're the team I look, and then they're in a weak division that I think they're the team I look at to have the most confidence in and can get this thing turned around.
I've heard from a lot of upset Titans fans about the fact that they're 0-2. Look, you set a certain expectation by being the 1 seed.
Should have beat the Giants.
You lose a game in the postseason that people think you should have won.
Right.
Then you lose a game that you had won against the Giants. Then you get blown off the field. It's a recipe for consternation. I know a lot of people complaining about offensive coordinator Todd Downing. Who knows how it goes for the Titans? But I agree with you. I have faith in Mike Vrabel finding a way to make it work and turn it around. They got blown out week 1 last year, 38-13 by the Cardinals at home, and they still ended up being the 1 seed. And they're still in the weakest division right now in football.
That's right.
I'll take the Bengals here.
Yeah.
Just because of Joe Burrow. I figure they'll find a way, but it won't surprise me if they continue to struggle. It won't surprise me if they regress this year. There are still flaws in that organization, deeper flaws. I'll give you an example. The Bengals continue to not guarantee money beyond the first year of a veteran contract for anyone other than a quarterback. Maybe they could have gotten Ryan Jensen away from the Buccaneers if they were offering something more competitive. Now, I know Ryan Jensen is currently hurt. That doesn't mean he would have gone to Cincinnati and gotten hurt. My point is, maybe they could have been in a position to get a better grade of upgrade at offensive line if they were willing to commit dollars beyond the first year. The contract is fully guaranteed. Those are the subtle ways that a dysfunctional team can stay dysfunctional even as it tries to become fully functional with a franchise quarterback. So the bottom line is the offensive line is still not good, but I have enough faith in Burrow and Jamar Chase and what they did last year to think at some point they'll start winning these football games.
Yeah, I'm with you. That would have been my next pick. And there's still a lot of positives about their roster and their team. Their defense has played pretty damn good too. But yeah, the offensive line is the number one concern, and it's 2 weeks in a row where it's just the dam breaks way too often, and Joe Burrow is unable to look downfield or have any time to let something with Jamar Chase or them develop, and that's concerning. But I think out of what we have to pick here, that would have been my second pick as well. Now it gets dicey. It really does, and I don't know where to go here. I think I'm gonna go with the Las Vegas Raiders. I am. And again, I don't know if it's gonna turn around to a point where they're gonna be a playoff football team. I mean, last year I think it just fell right. I was shocked they were in the playoffs to begin with. Now they're trying to play a different style of football, and like we've talked about, I don't think they got their kind of guys to totally run the McDaniels offense or the Patrick Graham defense there. But with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, and at least in the fact in both games, they've looked good. They had chances against the Chargers in week 1 and had moments of looking really good in week 2. And, just couldn't finish the job, really. Hunter Renfrow doesn't fumble. They're probably going to kick a field goal and win. Just couldn't make that one play to stay on the field, to keep Kyler Murray off the field there. So it hasn't been horrible with the Raiders. There's been a lot of positives there. I'll go with them.
So far, we've gone AFC, 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 even though by far it is the better conference. I'm going to jump over to the NFC.
Okay.
And between the Panthers and the Falcons, I'll go Falcons because they were up 16 in the fourth quarter over the Saints. And yes, they blew it. That's a negative for them. But also they were they hung in there against the Rams, and they haven't really been using Kyle Pitts yet. They are going to try to make that happen. Drake London had a solid game.
He did.
Against the Rams.
Looks good.
Marcus Mariota has looked pretty good. They again, in a conference where that 6 and 7 seed is up for grabs, I think they're in a position where maybe they could turn it around even with an 0-2 start, especially since they're shoulder to shoulder with the Panthers at 0-2 in their division. One of those two teams could wake it up and become competitive, so I'll go Falcons. All right, there are 3 winless teams left and 2 spots on our draft, and I don't who do we believe in? I don't know, Chris. Of the remaining 3 winless teams on the list, give me one more in which you have any faith whatsoever.
I'm going to go with the Colts here. This is where I will go with them. I mean, they still have Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan has not looked great, and I do worry about his lack of arm and ability to really scare a defense. It's certainly there. But I still think there's it's a pretty good defensive unit. Shaquille Leonard should be back. They didn't have Michael Pittman Jr. last week. We've seen them start off poor before and rebound in the Frank Reich era, so I'll go with them here. But I am concerned about them.
Yeah, I am too, and Matt Ryan, just, you never know when the wheels are going to fall off, and it could be the wheels are falling off for the 11th best quarterback in the National Football League. I'll go Carolina Panthers for the same reasons the Falcons. The NFC is wide open. The Panthers could be 2-0. I'm just concerned it's going to crumble quickly for Matt Rule, who may do a great job next year at Nebraska, the way things are currently going in Charlotte.
Yeah, I think that's the right pick. That'd probably be the team. Carolina's got some things, to like about their team. They shot themselves in the foot early in the game last week with the opening kickoff return fumble. Get the ball back. Robbie Anderson fumbles, so they're behind. They battle back. It looks like they have control of the football game. They're just, there's week 1, they battle back, and you think, oh my gosh, they're going to pull off the upset against the Browns. So they haven't been out of it by any stretch of the imagination. And, to what you're saying a little, I mean, there's not a team that plays the Panthers where the Panthers are just going to be physically overwhelmed or outclassed. And they got a lot of good-looking players. They just got to figure out a way to make a few more plays on offense and get this thing rolling.
And there really are only 5 0-2 teams at this point. Not really. That's it. There's 2 that are 0-1-1, 5 that are 0-2. And all those stats we've heard in the past about X% of 0-2 teams ever make it to the playoffs. Remember, this is the second year only of 17 games. It all changes when you add an extra game. There are 15 games to go. There is a long way left for these teams to turn it around. So maybe several of them will end up in the playoffs by the time it's all said and done. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.